Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. We are doing a catch up of a full fight card review for Top Rank on June 8th. It was a whatever card, headlined by Oscar Valdez, Jason Sanchez. I think everyone knew that headliner wasn't, much of a strong headliner. Oscar Valdez, Jason Sanchez, I believe, was ranked number 11. And the undercard televised fight was a Gabriel Flores taking on Salvador Barcino. He's out of Mexico, 15-3. So just those two fights on paper were heavily A-side favorite fights. They weren't top notch. Like, okay, looking forward to this. The only kind of like boxing banter, boxing junkie talk, since we are junkies here on this channel, this show here, the only thing you could like really tell is that okay, how is Gabriel Flores going to look against this taller fighter, this Tess? Oscar Valdez, his second fight with Eddie Renuso. What can we see? You had to look for little stories to find within the fights, because the fights themselves weren't a threat of any type of contest. So as boxing junkies, we had to find something to treat ourselves with. So the fights, I give them like a C. On paper that was, but in actuality, the fights themselves turned out to be pretty much C-level fights in reality. Salvador did show Gabriel Flores can be hit a lot. He's not that, he made him get humbled. Even though he did win that fight, Flores, you can see he's at 13-0. He's still going, but he needs a couple more fights. He needs a lot more fights, actually, of building up. He's not the type of fighter the Top Rank could throw in there and get fast track. Now the kid's only 19, so it makes sense to. He's 14-0. Yeah, 19 years old. Give this motherfucker at least probably like 3 more years, the way I see it. Maybe 2, but like I said, Salvador in the first 8-round fight was hitting him pretty good without following up with some combination. So once he do get a heavy competitor at the lightweight division, because the lightweight division is stacked. The lightweight division is definitely stacked. Gabriel Flores ain't going to be making no noise anytime soon. We figure let's just go to the bottom 30. Roman Andreev, Hurricane Futa. That's a crazy motherfucking Japanese dude. That fool might throw some wild shit and land on him. Ricky Burns at 23. Felix Verdejo at 22. Francisco Pantera at 19. He'll beat him. Ryan Garcia at 18. He'll beat him. Gamboa at 17. Who knows what Gamboa is going to do? Jordan at 16. So like I said, any one of these guys up above is going to beat him. He's a long way off, but like I said, on paper there are C fights, and in real life I gave him a C fights as well. Valdez didn't. He showed patience in his fight, but as the rounds went on, and you see he could still get hit with his brawling technique. Like I said, I don't know how far Valdez can go as a patient counterpuncher as Reneso is trying to get him like a Canelo. I don't know if he has that ability like a Canelo to do it. Like I said, it's still a work in progress. So we see. But like I said, I don't want to go too much in the fight. This is actually a card review, not a fight, not that fight. But you can see Valdez it was a nice, decent win. The crowd was into the fight for sure, so I give the crowd participation like a good old 8. They love I give it up for wherever Flores is going. He has a good old fan base traveling all around. So whether it's here in California, Nevada, good little Mexican following base for that guy. Top Rank knows what they're doing with him. Now, was that the fights? I give them 6 out of 10. The crowd, I give an 8 out of 10. So we're looking at a 14 out of 20. The the camera work, the production wise, it was decent. You know, it wasn't nothing spectacular on that card, so I'm giving it another 6. So we're looking at 20 out of 30. Now, surprisingly, you know, the commentary, it was decent. You know, they definitely didn't favor anyone. You know, Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward, they talked about what good they Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward, they talked how Gabriel Flores, you know, like, okay, he was a sharp looking prospect or so just a young fighter, but they were really talking about how he had the flaws and he was getting hit a lot. Valdez looking decent in his second fight, but still a lot of things to be working on. He still punches wide. So I like how they kept it honesty. I like that part of the commentary. But what I did not like was how they were just blatantly, obviously throwing the Oscar Valdez and Carl Frampton fight out there. They're like, oh, you know, I would love to see Valdez in there with some top-notch contenders. You know, Frampton's done. We're not done, but, you know, why? I just didn't understand why they didn't even mention Shakur Stevenson. He's number one. He's the number one ranked contender for the WBO. Andre Ward's right there. Why didn't they even ask Andre Ward, like, hey, what do you think of Shakur Stevenson? He is ranked number one for the WBO. You know, Oscar Valdez right now is feeling kind of weak with his weight. Would you want to throw Shakur Stevenson at him? But no, they just kept pushing and pushing this Frampton fight and Valdez. It's obviously what ESPN and Bob and Top Rank's going to do next. Then you see the just recently the article came out on Boxing Scene about Valdez and Frampton. So I just didn't like how they just was, like I said, before the article even came out, they were just already kind of setting the table for you, like no surprise that this fight's going to happen. Like they're just already mentioning it, just trying to program your brain to like this is a good fight. So overall, I gave it like a 7. Usually, I find it a little. Even Mark Kriegel couldn't really. His shit was kind of irritating that night. His little stories, it was just bullshit that night. So it was like a. I give it like a 6. I give it like a 26 out of 40. It was a pretty low card for Top Rank. The Double RT Boxing Show. Thank you for your time and support.